Hi and welcome to the Ruben Tuesday. My name is Ruben and this is my review for Netflix's original film, The Silence. The Silence is a film we've seen in story with very similar aspects before. It will remind you of things like A Quiet Place or Bird Box, probably more leaning towards A Quiet Place. So basically the story is a whole bunch of kind of dinosaur bats are released into our world. They've been kind of hibernating deep in our earth, and these two climbers let them out, and so now they wreak havoc. And obviously these bats, they're primal and they want to eat meat, and obviously they hear really well. This the type of creature bat that they are, because they're definitely not the normal bats. The closest thing we have is, I guess, the vampire bats, and even that's quite far removed to what this creature is. I don't even know if you can call them bats because they are named something else, but they're very bat-like, so we'll call it bat-like dinosaur creature thing that likes to eat meat. Reminds me a little bit of something like Pitch Black. So anyway, they're released into our world and now they are wreaking havoc. And I don't want to go more into what they do and what they can do because that'll spoil some of the fun. The story follows 16-year-old Ali Andrews, who's played by Kiernan Shipka. Yes, her from Sabrina. She lost a hearing when she was 13, and her and her family seek refuge in a remote haven. It's very similar to A Quiet Place, like I mentioned, or Bird Box, where you go on this journey of them trying to survive. What I really liked about this film is the family unit itself. They acted really well. They were believable in this situation where everybody kind of goes mental. Everybody kind of lends itself to self-preservation, and this family really look after themselves, and it was interesting watching from their perspective as the world goes to poop. So they're driving along and some other person will immediately resort to violence because it's all self-preservation. And I don't think that's always the case, but that is depicted a lot in films like this, where kind of most of the human race will then just fend for itself, and then you get these little pockets of heroes where people will kind of show that there are greater aspects to the human race, and I thought that was reflected in this film quite well. There are moments in this film where, well, there was one moment in this film particularly where I found myself almost in tears, and I won't reveal that to you, but it was an emotion that I wasn't expecting to see in this film. It's heightened with tension, with something that happens in the family, but I wasn't expecting it to go this way. I knew it was coming, and you'll know the bit I was talking about when it comes, but I was willing it not to happen. And when it does, I was like, so many emotions in that moment. And I would say that happens with this film along the way. You know stuff is going to happen. You know they're going to have to go through real hardships to try and survive. But the film does cleverly give you kind of little bits of hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's a place they can get to, that they might survive this, but you don't know who's going to survive. And at the end of the day, it's an hour-and-a-half film adventure thriller ride that I think most will enjoy. I think it would be easy to pick this film apart. If you look too deeply into films like this, like Bird Box or Quiet Place, there are aspects of the story that you can pick apart, and this is also based on a book, and sometimes translating from book to film doesn't quite work. I really enjoyed it. I think partly why this film works is because of some of the leads. So Stanley Tucci as the dad, I thought he was fantastic in this. You got Miranda Otto, who's another Sabrina actress, one of the aunts. I thought she was fantastic in this as well. All the actors played their parts really well. Even the I was going to say younglings, like their Padawan. Younglings. One particular young actor, I thought he was great. There was no weak links. The filmed really well, but there are moments in heightened tension that I think would rival A Quiet Place in bits. There's this bit where the family are going through a tunnel and something happens, and I was really kind of biting my nails. Like, you know, that those films where it's so tense that you kind of hold your breath, but you don't know that you don't realize at the moment that you're holding your breath. There was that in this a number of times. I think they used the silence trope, the gimmick of the film, where they have to be quiet around certain things, where they have to put things down really quietly, where your mobile phones become dangerous. They use that as a mechanic in the film that works really well, I think. The film is mostly fresh in parts, although, like I said, we have seen this done before, but I liked what they did with the family unit. I was immediately rooting for this family. I thought it was a really good thrill ride. I was along the ride with them for the 90 minutes of the film. There wasn't a bit where I thought the film dragged or the pacing was out. There are also some really kind of great cinematography shots, and I am a reviewer, so I'm going to have to sometimes talk about like sound uses and cinematography. I didn't think the sound stood out this, but I particularly liked some of the shots where the creature designs kind of mingled with the real world elements and how they did that. I thought it looked great. Kiernan, or Sabrina, was really great in this role. She took on the kind of personality of somebody that has lost their hearing, and with the sign language, the way she interacted with her family, I thought was really believable. The way she interacts with the kind of friend of hers, thought that was believable. All the interactions I thought were believable. I could get behind what they were trying to show in the story. You enjoy going on this journey with them. You are invested in the characters. I'm going to give The Silence a B+ because I think it's a good film. I think you could pick it apart if you wanted to, but if you're just looking for kind of a complete escapism adventure ride, you're going to enjoy that.
I'm sure this is all going to be over soon.
Let me know what you thought about this film in the comments below. I've got more coming this week. Netflix are dropping series and films at random times. There's another series coming out tomorrow that I'm hoping to review called Black Summer. Thank you as always for supporting the Ruby Tuesday, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.